All right, 390 Wagon Master here. So in this video, I'm going to tear back in to my REDCO RPS-1 little 1.5 amp power supply that I converted over. I did this, I think, 4 months ago, something like that. And I'll leave a link to that video down below. You can see what I did. But anyway, long story short, I've got about 2.4 amps of current draw capability here. So the REDCO counter that actually is supposed to go with this over here pulls about 9/10 of an amp, just a hair under. And this power supply poops out at around 2.4. Doesn't quite make its rated 3, but I don't care about that. So a few days back, I converted my PEP kit, my bird meter, over to 12 volts. Now the little PEP kits that you can put in these bird meters, they'll suck a 9-volt battery down pretty darn quick. You know, I probably go through 2 a year. So I've heard others use more, and if I am not down here working very much and not playing around, I can get a year out of it. But anyway, I'm tired of replacing 9-volt batteries. And now my little setup here, which is real simple, but I've noticed a couple things. It seems like there's a few items that I need when I'm working on something, and I've always got this counter on, powered by this, and then I need you know, power for the bird. I need power for my little tester here, and some other little low current draw items that I have. And what I did here, just like the bird, on the PEP kit on the bird, you know, the bird takes a 9-volt battery, and so does this. And so what I did is I used a 7809 IC and knocked my voltage down, so I can put anywhere from like 12 to whatever it is, 36 volts input, and it'll knock it down, and it knocks it down to about 9.11 volts. And it's a great little thing to do to replace 9-volt batteries if you're tired of buying them. And you know, I put a few in here, so you know, you got $10 worth of batteries in here, $10 a year in the bird meter in batteries. It's not a big deal, but doesn't need to happen. So what I did is on this and on the bird will be next, but I have these little old school connectors, and you know, I seem to remember the old guys calling these a coaxial, like a 5.2 millimeter coaxial. I don't know what the generic standard is for that, but anyway, and I like these, and I have a few other devices like this, so I'm kind of trying to standardize everything. Anyway, I've noticed that all this stuff is basically used at the same time, and I thought, well, you know what, I'm just going to make this a little more flexible. The REDCO C40 frequency counter came factory terminated with a phono jack, or as we know today, an RCA plug. Not this nice, I replaced the OEM one. And then they have it so it plugs into the back of this power supply. So it's basically a dedicated system. But now that I've got more current draw capability, this pulls like 50 milliamps. The freak counter pulls 90, so there's 140. Let's say 150. The bird will only pull probably at that again, probably 25 to 50 milliamps maybe. So anyway, that being said, I'm going to come well under the 2.4 amp rating that I have. So anyway, I want to make this a little more user friendly. So I'm going to take this phono jack off. I'm going to put on these binding posts here, and also a banana connector will fit in there. And the plan is I'm going to probably put a banana in there with the frequency counter, and then all my little accessories can go in the binding post area. And I think that'll work out pretty good. You know, I knew I was going to end up doing this actually when I was putting this together. So anyway, I'm going to heat up the soldering iron and start taking this stuff apart. And the plan is to put one here and one here. And I'll leave a link below to the video on this. Let's get started. Alright, so I just got back from the garage and I drilled another hole for this post right here. And I don't know if you can see this, but I used some old 7/16/11mm Sony car stereo shaft nuts to take up the gap, because this hole here was like I believe about 3/8 roughly for the original phono plug. So and this post isn't as large, so I had to fill up that hole and get it to where it wouldn't suck through. And because I had a few of those shaft nuts, I just did the other side just to make it look even, you know, so one's not sticking out further or anything like that. Took it over to body and paint, because this is like a really soft, I want to say an aluminum enclosure, and it bends really easy. And so when they did this, when they pushed in on it, I guess it kind of indented the metal here. So anyway, when I would put this banana plug in here, it zookied it off to one side and it looked all pinched together. So I sent this out to body and paint, and Hector wasn't there. That's usually where I get my deals at. And anyway, Carlos said 25 bucks, and I told him to go pound sand. So I brought it home and straightened it up myself to the best of my abilities. Got her installed. Got the 3300 microfarad 25 volt cap in there, mounted upside down. Tell me what you guys think about that in the comments. Mounting capacitors up, mounting electrolytic capacitors upside down. Anyway, so it looks like I'm gonna have to just, I can't go around here like I did in the original install. So I'm just gonna go over, I'm just gonna make it easy on myself. I don't want to mess with any of this stuff down here. I like how that is, so we'll put that right there. Got my fuse. This is my fuse for my DC side, and my AC fuse right there, coming in before the switch, the way it should be. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do. We're going to take positive and negative, so let's get her done. Alright, so I soldered the wires onto the posts, and got a wire tie holding it down right there. And the positive line here does not touch the power supply. I kind of liked it when they wrapped around, but I didn't want to redo the wire. Really don't need to. This is really good old school copper wire, and doesn't touch anywhere in there. So anyway, we're good to go. So let's fire it up. Let's plug her in. All right, well, that was successful. Let's meter it. Yeah, I don't know where my probes are. Yeah, 13.15. Very cool. See if I can get better. Okay, here we go. Oh, turn it back on. Duh. Alright, see if you can see that. And if I remember right, that's all that I could get out of this. It didn't want to go any higher than that because I was actually looking for 13.8. But not to really stress on the count of all this stuff was probably designed to work on 12.8 or 12.4 or something like that. So anyway, so it works. That's good. So now I can power more things off of here. All right, I'm going to put this together, and we're going to chop this plug off. Maybe put some bananas on there, because I think I'm going to dedicate the frequency counter to the bananas, and then any of my other accessories I could just put in the little holes there. So that probably is probably how I'm going to do it. However, I don't know, I'll probably change my mind about midway. Okay, so we're finished. And I just wanted to show you what I was talking about as far as running some of these accessories. So I illuminated this back quite a while ago when I did the restoration on that. And what I did is I put that jack in the back, and I put it on this little access door here, right, instead of on the main piece. So anyway, I thought that was pretty good. So there's that. And I like to use this little meter when I'm doing walkie-talkies or very low wattage things because of the scale on it, on that top scale, how that's broken up like that. It goes to 10 watts. So I like that. I've got my little tester going here, and I really like this. Again, that's converted over to 12 volts. This is converted over, the PEP kit there is converted over to 12 volts. So anyway, I can't tell you how many times I've left that on overnight. So anyway, all that stuff's done, and just with the flick of a switch. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now, I don't need these two together, but I'm just using this as a demonstration piece because I do have other accessories as well that I've converted over to these, and they work really well. Alrighty, please leave questions or comments down below. Tell me what you think.